reports that this group may have executed as many as 1,700 Iraqi security forces in recent days, including in a massacre that they put online and bragged about. But today we learned that the same group may now be in possession of a deadly cache of American-made firepower, Stinger missiles. They are powerful enough to take down a commercial airliner.
Well, that's last night, Megyn Kelly. Ladies and gentlemen, on record, Saudi Arabia is in their own newspapers, Kurt Nemo's written articles, bragging that this is a holy caliphate of the Sunni, which are the majority of Muslims worldwide, taking over the Shiite nation of Iraq. And I watched Fareed Zakaria, the Bilderberg Group member, and I watched them all. He was on MSNBC this morning. No, it was CNN. I was on the elliptical, flipping through channels. Talk about how the leader of Iraq, Maliki, is a thug and a Shiite evil man, and that this is what he basically deserves. So now Al-Qaeda is the good guy, and the elected government that's been somewhat pro-U.S., it's been neutral, is now the bad guy. And then they flip to another guest saying, you better give your rights up, a U.S. senator, or we're going to be hit by terrorists. Iraq is just like this perpetual war zone. After they removed Saddam 23 years ago, they started the war against these people. Is 100 years of war against Iraq proper? 1,000? 1,000,000? Iraq never attacked us. Iraq was somewhat of a secular nation that the CIA, under another policy, put a stabilizer in, Saddam Hussein. That's declassified. Then they set him up, told him to invade Kuwait, and then have been weakening the country ever since. And now they're pouring into the country out of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the giant forces that were in Syria for the 3.5 years couldn't beat Assad. Now they're pouring into the totally infiltrated Iraqi government with CIA, MI6, contractor spooks everywhere, using that embassy to give battle data to Al-Qaeda and its new comic book name, ISIS, or ISIS, potato patata, ISIS, as they fly the bin Laden and Al-Qaeda flags, bigger than Dallas, and as they murder every Christian and every military and every police person they find. These are police people and military people that were trained on record by our U.S. military and incredible casualties to stabilize that country after it was destabilized by the West. And now they're being killed, and CNN, Fox, and MSNBC all are up there saying, well, the president of Iraq should have just been more pro-West and should have done whatever we said, and maybe now if he behaves, we may give some airstrikes to stop Al-Qaeda that has, or ISIS, that has now surrounded Baghdad. This would be the equivalent of 200,000 jihadis that had infiltrated the U.S., massing around D.C., attacking it, murdering everyone they come across, and the news goes on and says, Obama's been unpopular. You know, he deserves this. I mean, that's basically what CNN's saying. And they try to make it about Bush. Bush was a puppet. Bush was the earlier program to destabilize Iraq and get it ready for Saudi Arabia, who's been softening Iraq up for 22 years. Where did 15 of the 19 hijackers come from? Wasn't Iraq, ladies and gentlemen. You'd answer Saudi Arabia on Jeopardy, and Alex Trebek would say you answered correctly. We should have our own Jeopardy show once a month where we actually have real contestants in here and ask them terror questions and have big prizes. How about the grand winner each night after an hour show gets $5,000? We can even have people Skype in maybe as contestants. You know, they enter a lottery, they Skype in like 10 different Skype people, and I sit there and like Jeopardy and ask them, Let's start easy. Oh, you picked false flag stage terror destabilization group. All right, number 1. What year was the Gulf of Tonkin? Bing, 1964. Correct. In the same category, Bing, what year was the USS Maine destroyed, starting the Spanish-American War? Bing, 1898.
You
Good.
The answer in the form of a question.
Yeah, the answer for a question. I don't watch the show. You'll have to give me all the stuff. Next thing, they'll sit there and go to the next question. There you go. For the Daily Double, does that mean it's associated with the last question? Who was president in 1898 when the U.S. government staged the false flag, launching that war? Who is William McKinley? You are correct. Good. Now, let's continue in the false flag category. Can we do that again, please? All right. Continuing. You're doing really good. Wow, you got a lot of money up there on the board. Let's move on now to another question. Being, ISIS. ISIS. What Muslim group founded and runs this organization? Bing. Oh, you know the answer already. That would be Al-Qaeda. Good answer. You win. All right, let's move along. The next question. Which country founded and runs Al-Qaeda and in 1901 launched the attack from a small Bedouin-held territory to take over most of the Middle East and was backed by British intelligence? Bing! You've already got the answer. What is Saudi Arabia? All right, the final question. You get a super bonus. Fans of Jeopardy will get mad because I don't even know the show very well. It's just I'm just kind of weighing it there. The next question, the final. What's the big bonus when you get the whole group right? What's that called? Point is, you're gonna win $10,000 if you get this next one right. Which Western intelligence group established the original Bedouin tribes into a military force to destabilize and take over the entire region in 1901? Beep. You've already got the answer? Why, yes, I do. That would be British intelligence. Incredible. Wow, you've just won that entire category. Now, next up, snuff films of children. You know what? And we can have, when I do this in the answers, we'll provide documentation for each answer to show everyone this is the way to reach the general public. I've been realizing that we need to do it entertainment style. And I should do a show once a week where I endorse the whole New World Order. I'm going to go, so they found a couple thousand dead toddler Irish kids to show the photos of the sweet little children who had nothing even wrong with them, and they injected them with experimental vaccines to kill them on purpose and put them in a septic tank. And I'll go, what's that? And I go, it's cleaning up those subhumans. Yeah. Yeah. And in New York State, what year did CPS workers blow the whistle on black children being fed pesticides until they died by a major agri company? Why, you guessed right. 2005, New York Daily News. In the form of an answer, though. Oh, you say you've got it in the form of an answer? What is it? What is New York State? Correct answer. Let's move on with torture of children in snuff films. With the next question, it's a little harder. Which CIA psychiatrist for more than 40 years tortured and mind-controlled, including sexual exploitation of small children grabbed out of their backyards at CIA bases in Maryland and in Canada? I gave you a lot of info there. Who is it? You say you've already got the answer? Who is Dr. Ewing Cameron? Oh my gosh. Bing, 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 Daily Double. Next up, it's the same association as this one. Who was his main protege, who was also Tim McVeigh, the bombing patsies, main adjunct, and who was in the CIA MK Ultra hearings? Beat. You have the answer? Yes. psychiatrist Jolyon West. Correct! Is that enough InfoWars Jeopardy for everybody? It is. We should trust the government. We should take all the shots they give us and eat the GMO food, even though all these top scientists have gone public saying they were hired, I've had them on the show, to design a potato in England, you name it, to sterilize people, but only a certain portion so that no one could tell it was the potato directly. And then they hit you from so many other angles, they end up getting everybody. Guys, I'm thinking we should call it like, even though it's a parody, we can get away with doing it. We should call it something like Punkity. Instead of Jeopardy, you know, we're a punk nation of slaves that'll put up with anything. So we'll call the show I Got Punked. Hi, I'm Alex Jones. Thank you to I Got Punked. This is to honor the nation of sheep who, well, like punks in prison, love to get beat up every day and forced to bend over. It'd be easier to stand up and fight, but they want the hard road of being a slave.